Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my perfume tray update for the month of May, and I'm going to be focusing on the fragrances that I wore on weeks 3 and 4 of the month. So I'm going to talk about the rest of the fragrances that I didn't cover on the first update. If you are new here and you love fragrance talk, beauty, self-care, body care, all of that, go ahead and subscribe before you leave today's video. I would love to have you back here for future uploads, and that's pretty much all I talk about. So with that said, let's get right into today's video. Guys, so I have quite a few fragrances to go through. Some of these I have talked a lot about on my channel, so the ones that I've gone over many times before, I won't go super into detail about those, but I'll definitely give you all of the info that you need to know. And there's others that I haven't really talked about a lot on my channel, so I really want to focus on those. So I'm going to start off with the ones that I have definitely talked about before on my channel. So one that I enjoyed quite a lot this month was Dolce Gabbana L'Imperatrice. I caught myself just splashing this on a lot during the day when I was at home, when I just wanted to put on something that was very refreshing, because I have been letting you guys know that it has been very hot here lately, like so hot. It just takes away like your energy because you just don't feel like doing anything. You just want to lay down with as little clothes as possible and the AC's on full blast. So fragrances like this are perfect for that type of weather. This is very watery, very thin in consistency. It's a fruity fragrance, but there's a lot of tartness in here. I'm not a fan of like sour tart fragrances, but this one just grew on me so much. This is one that when I first got it, I was just like, ew, what is this? It smelled kind of like, I wouldn't say rotten fruit because that's a little extreme, but it just smelled like something was going bad. Like when a fruit goes past that sweet point and it starts getting into like that sour territory. So at first I was just like, ooh, I don't want to smell like that. But then the more I started picking it up and trying it out, especially in the hot weather, it is just gorgeous. And you smell like very fruity, but it's not in like a typical fruity way. It's very unique. It's really nice. It's a fragrance that kind of grows on you and then you kind of start craving it. So there is watermelon in here. There is, I believe there's kiwi, and I believe there is rhubarb. Yeah, I think it's rhubarb. So it has a little bit of a sour tardiness to it, but it's just the right amount. This fragrance is not a fragrance that's going to be super long lasting, but then again, I want to make it clear on my channel that performance and longevity, I have a lot of people in the comments that ask me like, how does that perform or how long does it last? And I never really like answering those questions because what might last on me like 2 minutes could be a fragrance that lasts the entire day on you. We all have different skin, we all have different chemistry, so fragrances are going to react so differently depending on who we are. So when I tell you the performance and the longevity, it's just based off of my experience. Just from the type of fragrance that this is, I wouldn't really expect it to last a long time on a lot of people because it's just a very fresh, fruity, aquatic type of fragrance. So that is Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice. Next up, this fragrance right here, you guys know I have raved so much about it. I think more than halfway done with it, and I'm trying to finish up this bottle before I move, and then hopefully I can get my hands on like a 3.4 ounce bottle. But this is Giorgio Armani Ocean di Gioia. This is one of my favorites from this line. It is the most realistic pear that you will ever smell, or at least to my nose. When I spray this, I literally smell the juiciest pear that is just perfect. Like it is at that perfect point that it's ready for you to eat it. It's juicy, it's just dripping, it's fresh. But then there's also like this shampooy fruitiness in there as well that just makes this the most girly, just refreshing, almost tropical, but kind of like in a very marine ocean type of way. It just makes me think of being like on a boat just on the sea, and you have like this bowl filled up with like sliced pears. You kind of wore like body care and washed your hair before going on that boat. I know it's kind of like a very detailed scent, but that's literally what I get from this. A super girly girl who smells really clean and fruity, and her shampoo smells amazing. There's pears, and you're out in a boat living your best life, and you are getting a tan. That's pretty much what this makes me think of, and it's beautiful. Performance wise, this gives me a really nice scent bubble when I wear it. I can smell it for more than a couple of hours on myself, and the longevity on me would be moderate. It's not super long lasting, but it sticks around for more than 2 hours, which is okay for me. So I just love the scent so much that I don't really care about that. I just reapply if I want to smell it again. I would say this is a pretty linear fragrance. Like the way that it opens up, that's kind of the way that it stays the entire time that you're wearing it. But yeah, beautiful, gorgeous. I definitely recommend this one for hot weather, for summertime. Really, really nice. Next up, we have GUERLAIN AQUA ALLEGORIA LIMON VERDE. This fragrance right here, I did wear some this month. This is the big bottle. My coconut fizz, it's smaller, which makes me just tear. But this one is the type of fragrance where when I first got it, I was just like, I don't know if this is special enough for me to keep it in my collection. And at one point I was considering decluttering it, and then I'm so happy that I didn't, because there's something about lime and fragrances that just makes me feel so fresh and clean in not a soapy way, because I cannot stand soapy fragrances too much. There's very few clean fragrances that I can do, but lime to me kind of gives me that refreshing, clean feeling, and this is perfect for summer. And what I love about this one that makes it stand out from other lime or citrusy fragrances is the sugar note that is in here. It just gives it this sweetness when it dries down. So it's like this lime sweet dry down. It's so good. And it also gives me kind of, all of these like Aqua Allegoria fragrances, for some reason, sometimes make me think of like cucumbers, which I cannot stand cucumbers in fragrances. But in here, it is just perfect. Like, I cannot complain about it. This is so good. This is fresh. It's for those of you who love citrus fragrances. I would say this is unisex, but the dry down is what gets me. So the opening is nice, it's refreshing, it's just like, ooh, so good. But the dry down is what gets me with the sweetness that comes out. This also has green notes in it, and then the dry down, they do have tonka bean as the base. So it is a really unique dry down. The tonka bean does not weigh down the fragrance. It doesn't make it thick or anything like that. It kind of just gives it this smooth, kind of like tones down the citrus a little bit, especially with that sugar in there. It just turns into this sweet, fruity, citrusy, refreshing fragrance. It's literally like a cocktail or something in a bottle, like a mojito or something, and it's just so refreshing and perfect for summertime. And if you're like me and you love that combination of like coconut and lime, you can layer this with like a coconut body care and you will smell like a tropical vacation. So it's really, really good. So next up, let's just get the Aqua Allegorias out of the way. I have Coconut Fizz, which I just hate to talk about on my channel because I know that this is so hard to get, and I know so many of you are interested in this. I did hear from a lot of you guys that Soki London here on YouTube is coming out with a dupe for Coconut Fizz, so that sounds super interesting. And if it is a dupe, which I would like to keep some of this bottle around so that when that is released, I can compare them, because we need something, but it needs to be like spot on. Like, I don't want kind of like I want a real dupe, because I want everyone to be able to experience this type of coconut. It's like the perfect coconut fragrance. It isn't sunscreeny. It's so freaking good. It's like a coconut water with fruity notes in there. It's kind of like super refreshing. This is like the perfect coconut water. There is fruity notes in here, which to me translates into like a cucumber note as well, but it matches so perfectly together. And then the sandalwood in here, it's the perfect touch, because sandalwood I'm very picky with. Some sandalwood fragrances can be way too much for me. They're like sickening, just cloying. The sandalwood in here, I do feel it coming through, but it's thin. Everything in here is thin, it's airy, it's beautiful for summer. The longevity is not there, because it's just a very refreshing type of fragrance. And the combination of the bergamot with the coconut, it's one of my favorite types of combinations in fragrances. It just creates this perfect type of consistency for summertime, for hot weather. It just makes you feel clean and refreshed the entire day that you're wearing it. I have worn this before to go out, and it has lasted about half of the day, like half of the time that I'm out. and then it just turns into like a very close to the skin type of scent, but it's gorgeous. So that is Coconut Fizz. Next up is Lancome La Vie Belle in Rose. So I did wear this, I would say 1 or 2 times. Not too many times because it's one of the ones that I can wear here easier than the other ones because it's not as thick and it's not as warm. But it still is a little bit thicker than what I would like for the weather right now. But this is one of my favorite La Vie Belle flankers. It is La Vie Belle. It has the DNA of La Vie Belle, so there's that warmth in there. There's a fruity touch in here because there is raspberry. You also have rose in this fragrance. There's peony, which is one of my favorite florals that I can actually handle in fragrances. And funny enough, this is the first La Vie Belle fragrance that I purchased, so I didn't get the original one. Something about this one intrigued me, and this was a blind buy, and it is my favorite flanker from the La Vie Belle line. It has berries, there's pink pepper and bergamot, so the opening is a little bit brighter in this one and fruitier. And then you start to get into the dry down, which has that patchouli, which helps to make it last longer. There's musk, iris, and sandalwood. So it's just very similar in the dry down to La Vie Belle, but it does have those uplifting notes in the opening. There is a fruity side to it along with those really pretty florals. It is a little bit more easier to wear in my opinion than the original one, and it's not as warm, and it's not as, I think the original La Vie Belle for me is strictly for like fall and winter time, and this one lasts a really long time on me. I know that some people complain about the longevity with this one, but this one will last me, if I wear it at nighttime, it will last me all the way until the next day when I wake up. And if I wear it to go out, I can smell it on me the entire time, on my skin and on my clothes. So La Vie Belle in Rose is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, very feminine, and I love it. Next up, I got to wear this fragrance way more. I got to know it way more. Made some mistakes the first time that I wore it. I almost suffocated myself. And this is Raja Perfumes. This is Oceania. I am in love with this bottle. It is so beautiful. This bottle is gorgeous. I did wear it a few times. I really wanted to be able to let you guys know how this performs on me. And I will say, out of all of my fresh fragrances and like citrusy fragrances and that type of like ocean vibe, this is definitely the best performer and the longest lasting one out of all of the ones that I own. So if you are a person who loves fresh fragrances, has to be someone who likes unisex fragrances as well, because it's very unisex. It doesn't really have like a feminine touch to this fragrance. You have to like that. You also have to like aromatic type of fragrances, because there is, I believe it's rosemary, and I don't remember what other note in here, but it's very, very aromatic, but it's also very fresh and it reminds you of the ocean. It's a very beautifully made fragrance. You can tell that the notes in here are top notch. The quality of it, the longevity of this literally stays on my clothes for like a whole week. If I don't wash whatever I was wearing, it will stick to your clothes, it will stick to your skin. The day that I wore this, I think I did a get ready with me video. I don't know if I showed it in the get ready with me, but I went a little spray crazy. I probably did like close to 10 sprays. You do not need all that with this fragrance. You could just do like 3 sprays and you're going to be good to go. And I'm definitely going to be keeping it a little bit like further down on my body, because even though I did enjoy the scent of it, it can get a little like annoying after a while if you spray it like too close to your nose, because it is so intense. This is a very intense, fresh, ocean-like fragrance, unisex and aromatic. That's pretty much what I can say about this one. Beautifully made, beautiful quality. You are getting what you pay for with this fragrance. Now, I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in a sample size, I'm not sure if it's available right now on Twisted Lily, because the last time I checked, I think they were sold out, but I'm still going to leave the link in the description box to the full size as well as the sample size. Hopefully it comes back in stock soon. That way you can try it out. But definitely for those of you who love niche fragrances, reminds you of being kind of like in front of the ocean, but this ocean definitely has like some rocks There's a little bit of like a saltiness in the air for sure. It's very, very fresh and clean and aromatic. Just be careful with the sprays. Unless you love to like overspray and you're not sensitive to like smells. But if you're like me and you can get sensitive, you can get headaches, this is one that will last you a really long time because you'll only need 2 or 3 sprays and you're good to go. So that brings me to the end of today's tray update. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Comment down below which of these you love, which you don't like. I cannot wait to chat with you guys. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That helps my channel out so much. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ooh la la la. Ooh la la.